The human brain has somewhat of an obsession with altered states of mind. Hence why, for hundreds or thousands of years, humans have experimented with drugs and other chemicals. We enjoy the sensation of fooling ourselves into thinking we are someone or somewhere else. The fact of the matter is, we all have ways of finding this escape. Some people turn to recreational drugs, such as marijuana. Some people look to television or read a book, so that they can vicariously live through the lives of the characters on screen or wrapped in the pages. Some prefer a more physical type of activity, such as travel, hiking, or camping. These methods literally remove you from a stressful environment and take you away from the status quo and let you detach yourself from your busy home life. We also see people turning to finding intimacy as a means of escape. When you're there, in that moment with another individual, nothing else matters. Bills don't need to be paid at that moment. No need to worry about finding a job. The fact of the matter is, everyone has their own means of finding escape. It's a necessary part of life, and it's important for the mind to have this escape, as to not overload itself. However, I'd like to focus a bit on one particular breed of escapism that I myself am very fond of: gaming. I indulge myself in what I'd like to call the two main avenues of gaming: video games and physical games like role-playing and other tabletop games. When I play Dungeons & Dragons, I immerse myself. I become someone who I am not, in a world that is not the one I live in. When I play video games, the only thing that matters to me is what's happening in that moment, in that game. Many avid gamers might relate to me when I say that sometimes I lose track of my surroundings until my cat loudly meows to remind me that it's dinner time. When I'm in front of my desk, playing a game, me and my friends get to bond and enjoy times together, while we all get to try to forget. If you don't mind, I'd like to tell you just a little about myself. It is a little personal, but I hope you'll bear with me. You see, I struggle a lot with depression. Some days are a battle. I have to force myself some days to do even the simplest of things. I play games and write stories to distract myself, as I truthfully can find myself totally overwhelmed at the simplest of things. Just today, as of writing this script, my closest friend sent me a message on Discord and it made me panic. A simple greeting and immediately I grew nervous. All the stresses and worries of living life feed into an inner machine that makes me overanalyze and see the worst possible outcome in every situation. I found myself agonizing over saying the right things and bracing myself for conversation, as if simple small talk with someone I love was like gearing up to go to war. So this is where video games come in handy for me. When I play Skyrim, for example, the issues that I face in game are not my issues per se. They are the issues of the Dragonborn. I may be the Dragonborn, and I like to feel as immersed and connected to the game as I can, but deep down, it brings me peace to know that the protagonist's problems may be mine to solve, but they're still not really my problems. I can pretend like I'm in this character, thrown into this circumstance, but I get to approach that situation knowing that if I die or if I fail, my life outside of the game remains unchanged. Another game I frequent is Escape from Tarkov. This game is a little different. I feel physical stress when playing this game. The thrill of the realistic combat, the worry over losing a teammate or losing gear is enough to make my heart race. But even then, this stress never overwhelms me. Because, once again, I know that what happens in the game does not affect the person behind the keyboard, other than maybe frustrate them a little. Still, outside of these games, life can often get the better of me. When times get tough, and the games I play aren't just cutting it, I try to find something new to play, a different way to escape. That's how I found a game called Kind Words. Kind Words isn't really much of a game at all. It's an experience. The premise is pretty simple. Sit down, listen to some chill music, and write and receive letters. all facilitated by a cute deer with a hat. These letters are sent by other people, real people, each of them looking for an escape. You can send your own thoughts and feelings out to the world anonymously, and others will write you back, wishing you well. Each person has a different story to tell, but there are points of intersection everywhere. We're all different, but in many ways the same. The difference that exists in this game versus in the real world is this. Everyone is working together for everyone's well-being. Someone who is going through a bad breakup or had left in abusive relationships still wants you, who can't decide what to do in college, to succeed. And you want the same for them. You can sit for hours at a time and escape by listening to others. In some way, I find comfort in hearing about other people's issues. Not because I like to compare myself to someone else, saying I have it bad or worse than anyone else, but because it reminds me that I am only human and I'm not alone. In our everyday lives, and in a Western culture like the United States, where I reside, little emphasis is placed on mutual benefit. We are taught to work to benefit ourselves and our direct circles. Strangers are just that, strange. If we saw a man crying on the sidewalk outside, we'd sigh, shake our heads, and move on, without acknowledging the man, saying something in our heads along the lines of, "Me too, man." Because in our society, it's abnormal to sit down with them and ask him what's wrong. But on Kind Words, the veil of the internet allows us to not only feel more comfortable with expressing ourselves, we feel less constricted by modern society, and more free to reach out and help. However, the internet, as we all know, is not particularly known for being terribly good-willed, because the veil of the internet allows us to escape in a different way. People who bully or are aggressive on the internet are doing so because they themselves are seeking to let loose their anger and their hate onto someone else, in an attempt to reduce their adversary to their level. While I won't deny that there are bad people that exist, I find this to be often true, that people, when pushed to a certain degree, let loose a different side of themselves. As for the people that do this on the internet, there's little chance of any retribution on the internet, so why not? Some would argue that the internet is more hostile than the outside world. There are cases to be made on both sides. However, Kind Words offers separation from that. The developers work hard to make sure that people are not aggressive or mean-spirited, and insist that the message of their game is one of positivity and mutual respect. I believe that Kind Words shows us what we could be. It makes me imagine a world where respect is a priority and kindness is a normality. I've received a lot of flack over the years by former friends, telling me that to wish for such a thing is utopian, stupid, and impossible. Maybe they're right, but cynicism does nothing to help that. We live in an era of change. We fight for racial equality, for gender equality, for sexual freedom and acceptance. We fight for humanity. At the end of the day, it is our right to love who we love, to be accepted despite the conditions of our birth and the color of our skin. I truly believe that if we, as the generation for change, put our heads together and learn to love each other, we will see a day where kindness is a standard. Gay or straight, black or white, man or woman, we are all humans, and we all need an escape. There are some things we have in common. We can create a world where games like Kind Words echo our society instead of present a juxtaposition. But for now, we need Kind Words. We need an escape. I've only played Kind Words for about an hour, and it's already blown me away. Clearly enough to make me want to make this and share it with you. You can pick up Kind Words on Steam for $5. To me, making someone's day is priceless, so I was happy to pay. Join me on Discord down in the description. Talk to me about anything at all. If you're struggling in any way at all, know that you are loved. If by nobody else in this world, then by me. I hope to form a positive community where we share ideas and build each other up. Please, if you're struggling, no matter how big or small it may seem, seek help. Find a therapist. Therapy is not reserved for the mentally ill. Check the description for other crisis lines if you or a loved one are in crisis and need help. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great day. Until next time, please, be kind to each other.